YouTube, chicks. Get ready. You know what to do, chicks.
Listen, Chick Smooth.
Hey, Chick Smooth. Appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
Yo, JD is calling me.
Yo.
My brother, JD, how you feeling?
What's happening? How you?
I'm good, bro. So we was just in here talking, and your tweet, came up that you tweeted out last night, and me and Rory were talking. I said, I know JD was probably in the studio having one of them conversations and just wanted to get the feel and the vibe of the outside world and see what they were feeling. But so about the tweet, how did that come about? What was you in the studio talking about? Because I know that's where you was at.
Yeah, I was in the studio. I was actually by myself, though. I saw something that said Instagram they made a new function where that is the commercial said it could be the greatest thing for independent artists. And at that second, I'm like, okay. So he left out major artists. He said independent artists only. So then I'm like, okay, so I'm checking it out. I'm looking to see what it is. And it says that, you could play, independent artists could play their new music for their fans for 30 seconds in the DM. And it helps their algorithm at Spotify, right? So I mean, at that point, I'm just like, okay, cool. So then I just like I said, this just made me ask, like, what is the special thing about being independent? Like the special thing, right? And I was just reading right now, waiting on you to call me, that you can go this way, that Steve Stout wrote ownership, control, freedom of all the things that have been taken from artists since the beginning of time. I mean, that was his response.
That was his response to you?
Yeah, that's his response.
Okay.
Steve's taking that from artists.
If that's the answer, that's the answer. I just was saying, like, in anything that we do, it's a special thing or reason why you want to go to the NBA if you're in college. It's a special reason that you want to go to the NFL if you play Pop Warner. It's a special reason that you go to Paris for Fashion Week. It's a special reason, right? I just I was asking, what is the special reason? And it's crazy that people got so mad about the question because
they get mad about everything.
Yeah, but I'm saying when people get mad, it lets me know that there's something else going on.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Brett Fox reporting from the Chicks Universe. Today, we're going to talk about the situation going on with Jermaine Dupri and the Joe Budden podcast. So, for those of you who may not know who Jermaine Dupri is, I'm pretty sure there's very little people who don't know that, but Jermaine Dupri is one of the most legendary producers of all time when it comes to this hip-hop thing. So recently he put up a post on Twitter pretty much asking, what's the benefit of even being independent, right? And a lot of people took that post the wrong way.
For him to produce a song.
We don't care about all that shit he said. His point was...
That's a sick prize, by the way.
Who is the winner anyways? Do we know who they are?
Right.
Did we talk about them? Yeah.
No, this is years ago.
No, I'm saying, but Lotto is where she is, and where is the winner of that show?
This is the worst gift.
Anyways,
We don't
keep
care.
going.
We don't. That's not wasn't the point. The point.
His point was, what is special about being independent?
I don't think that
Some of the things that people were naming, freedom and having your rights and so forth and so on, he was saying, I have got that, and I know people that have those same things
On majors.
So what is specifically special about being an independent?
Everybody don't get that on the majors.
I was just
I was
going
about to say, like, he still sounds like he's speaking from a privileged standpoint.
Oh, you want to smoke?
It's not smoke, though. It's like, it's literally just like addressing, commentary that's going back and forth. Like, I don't have anything personal against the guy, but the fact of the matter is that it still sounds like he's speaking from a privileged position. Because like Parks just said, it's not, just because you're on a major doesn't guarantee that you're going to have all of that. And it just seems like...
You trying to get part of them all?
Let her cook. Let her cook. Come on. Let her cook. Somebody got to break up your stretch.
I see you, girl. No, I'm coming for it. So you stop.
So, no, come for me because that's...
No. I'm talking shit. Go ahead.
Okay, no, it just seems like I said, he's speaking from a privileged position, and like I said as well, that it might be an antiquated thought process.
I just don't like the fact that he even mentioning. I know people on majors that got their masters and all that. They had to negotiate that probably down the line. You're not getting signed today. Well, unless you scorching hot, you might could leverage some of that today. Right. But that's, again, a small point. Those who are scorching hot kind of realize, hey, I got here.
It sounds like he's referring to outliers. You know what I'm saying? So it's the exception to the rule. And so it's kind of like, you know, when they use the success of a black person to say, see, racism doesn't exist. You know, there's opportunity is bountiful. No, the fuck it's not.
So it's like when Jermaine Dupri says, what's the difference? It's hard to take it as an earnest question when he's an industry veteran, a legend, somebody who knows the business inside and out. It's hard for me to believe that he needs to ask that question to Twitter.
And that's why I keep saying it's an antiquated thought process, because
it's like a meek tweet.
No comment, but I'll say this: if you heard me say what's the point of Black History Month, you would interpret it as me saying something's wrong with it because it's me asking as opposed to a 12-year-old asking.
Yeah, you're more informed,
right? So you would assume if I'm asking it with a point of view already. If Jermaine Dupri is saying what's the difference between a major and an independent when you spent your whole life in the music business since you were this big, literally, I gotta assume you have an opinion on it that you're trying to communicate through that question.
And the way he worded it, it almost sounded like he was. I'm not putting words in your mouth. Pause. I don't want you to have no smoke over here. It almost seemed like you were looking down at the people that wanted to be independents.
That was a logical way to perceive what he said.
So what he was saying is that he was just simply asking a question, and he's not trying to make it an independent versus major type of thing. All he's really saying is that what's the real benefit to being an independent? Granted, you get your freedom, you get your licensing, you get all your masters, you get everything like that. But he doesn't understand the other perks that come with it. From the surface, it kind of just seems like a really, really stupid question to be asking. But when you really sit down and you actually sit back and listen to his thought process, I guess in a way it could make a lot of sense. But at the same time, Joe and the team actually addressed Jermaine Dupri's response, and they actually had some pretty insightful things to say as well in regards to the statement that he was making. Now, the way that they framed it was, of course, hilarious as usual. And, you know, Melyssa really had a lot to say on the topic. And she pretty much was saying that, you know, Jermaine Dupri, of all people, should know better than to ask what's the difference between an independent and a major. Being as though he's been in the industry for so long, and it almost comes off as kind of condescending, kind of ingenuine. And I guess that was what Melyssa's point really was. What she was really saying is that, in her perspective, she's looking at it as if Jermaine Dupri was really just coming from a point of privilege. Why? Because he's been so successful for so long that it's hard for him to understand what an independent artist may have to go through in today's time. And granted, she has every right to say that in a sense, because when you look at Jermaine Dupri's resume, yes, it is extensive, but one thing that does stick out like a sore thumb is that his father was the president of a record label at one point in time. So clearly he has knowledge and access that most people would not have, which is a privilege, which could have heavily influenced his opinion on the independent versus major saga. Also, one thing that we got to remember is that a lot of people that come up in older times, because they have the experience, they feel as though they know better. Experience does not equate to relevant knowledge. Yes, experience does equate to knowledge, but I'm going to say it one more time. Experience does not equate to relevant knowledge. So what you may have experienced in the 90s or early 80s is not relevant to what people may be experiencing today in 2025 or the 2020s in general. We have to remember you were an independent artist when there wasn't even an internet wasn't even created yet. Melyssa and Mark kind of started teaming up on this whole thing, and you know, they also was on some like Shaq and Kobe type of vibe, right? Because they was really playing off of each other, and they made a lot of great points. One of the points that they made, Jermaine Dupri asking that question about independent labels and major labels would be the equivalent to Mark Lamont Hill saying, why is Black History Month important? You could be saying, yeah, I'm only asking a question. I'm not saying that I believe that. I'm only asking a question. But at the same time, because of the voice you may have in this particular subject matter, you can create damage to the conversation that needs to be had just because you are asking a question. Now, I have to be fair. Once JD started explaining his point a little bit better, which he did, because while Maul and Rory were going over the subject, one thing that he said in there that really, really stuck out to me is that why is it that when it comes to music, that's the only time we talk about independence? And that is actually a really, really, really brilliant insight. And I understand what he was trying to do with this whole question and the conversation he was trying to create. The way he should have explained himself could have been a lot better. So he actually made a point in there saying that, you see how Pharrell is now the creative director for Gucci. Why aren't people saying, hey, why doesn't Pharrell just go start his own clothing line? So the way you explain something has everything to do with the way people are going to interpret it, right? And if you look at this discourse, it's literally the exact same discourse that Sway in the Morning and Kanye West had about 6 or 7 years ago. How, Sway? You get what I'm saying? But it just turns out that this time Jermaine Dupri is Kanye West, Sway in the Morning is everybody else. And it just turns out that for some reason, this time we're not siding with Kanye West. We decided to side with Sway in the Morning. It seems like in music, that's the only time we are super hyper focused into being independent versus collaborating with major efforts or major labels. Whereas in every other aspect in business, we're trying to collaborate with as big a company as possible so that we could get the furthest reach as possible, which is the absolute goal at the end of the day. I don't know, man. Who do y'all think is right in the situation? You think JD is right and that everybody's just tripping and he's just asking a question and everybody should really just stand down because at the end of the day, he's just asking a question? Or you think that JD is tripping and he knows exactly what he's doing and he's just trying to stir the pot? I don't know. Let us know in the comment section, though. And also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Brett Fox, reporting from the Chicks Universe.